Okay, so example 2, we're looking at applying what you've just been learning with Mubina in example 1 in this cash budget. And I'll remind you again, this is what you need to be doing for your assignment. And so what we have here is, like the last time, I read the information. So I've already read the information. I've highlighted the yellow where we need to put in the information. I've put in the cash sales there, the percentage increase for the mobile phone contract, marketing cost, and drawings for per month. And then I've got the cash receipts and staff overheads and all this information that I need to put. And so please read the example and understand we're linking this to example 2, and that's what we're going to be doing. So we will start with the credit sales. So the credit sales here, it does say in the question that these will start in the month of June, and they're going to be 50%, and I've put my 50% on here. And so I will go, this is equals 50%. I need to remember my F4, and then I multiply it to the sales for June. And then I press enter, and when I drag it along, this will give me those values. And then the marketing cost we're given, and like I said in the other example last week, you've got the marketing cost and the drawings per month. I'll just put them in one cell, and then I'll use F4 to make it easier. If these values do change, I can just go and change on there, and I'll show you when I finish this example. So the marketing cost is going to be 2,500. The drawings per month are 500. And now we have sales. I need to put my name there, sales, and then I'll call this cash. And then I've got sales on credit. So my sales for cash, I will just go, this is going to be equals that. Press enter, and then I drag it along. Now you'll notice for the total, I'd already put a sum formula, but you already know how to do this now. You're used to it. And my credit is going to start, again, I could put it there from January and click on there and drag it along. And then I have it there. Now the good thing with the formulas is, let's say the credit sales do change at some point, and maybe they say they will start in February, you're doing a proposal. I could just come and put it here. Let's say I put something like 500 there. It will come at the bottom. Let me delete this to make sure, because we don't have this in the question. But this is what I'm saying. If you link everything, when you make changes, you make fewer changes. And that's what you need to remember. And now I need to get the total. It's going to be equals my sum. And then I will add these two, close, and then I will drag it along. And that gives me there. I had already put the sum function for that. And then we move on to the staff cost. Now the staff cost is going to be what you've already worked out in example 1. So all I need to do now is I can link my example 1 and example 2 in worksheets. And this is quite useful because if I have a lot of data, I don't want to be crowding everything in one worksheet. So I will take the information, I will put an equal sign there on the staff cost, and then I'll click on the worksheet with example 1, select the staff cost for January. Now if you look at the top there, it says example 1 exclamation mark D23. Now before you leave this, you need to press enter, and then it will come back to example 2, and then you can drag this along. Now if I just inspect this, if I look at this, it has taken example 1 on the formula bar there, example 1 exclamation mark, that's just the reference for the example 1, and it's I23, and this is in line with I as well, so we've got the right figures. And then for my variable overheads, I will do the same. I need to press equal sign, click on the name of the worksheet, and then click on the variable overhead. I need to make sure that I press enter before going into example 2. I press enter, and that is my value, and then I'll drag it along, and that gives me that value. Now we also have marketing, so I'll type in marketing, and we also have drawings, and those will be my drawings. Now, with my marketing costs, the question does say that the marketing would be for June and July. So I will go equals that, and then I press my F4, enter. Then I can just drag it for July. And then I make sure that I don't enter it on anything else. My drawings are going to be 500. I'll press equals, and then press F4, press enter. And then I'll drag it along. And that gives me 6,000. And now I need the total payments for this, so this is going to be equals sum. I'll add all these, and then press enter, and then I drag it along. And so I have now my net cash flow, my opening balance. The question says the opening balance is going to be 10,000. So I will enter 10,000. And once I've done that, now I can work out my closing balance. And from last week and from your budget in your lecture, you know that the closing balance would be at the end of the month when everything else has been done. So we've got your opening balance. And so I need to go equals my 10,000. And then I add that to the net cash flow. That gives me 8,400. That becomes the opening for February. And I'll press enter. After that, then I can drag these along. And then I can drag this along. And I've done my budget. So there you have it. You've got a quicker way now. Once you've worked on something, you don't have to do it again in another worksheet. You can just link them together. So just keep this in mind. I will remind you again, your F4, and making sure that when you do example 1, like what did here, and you take information from it, you need to make sure that you press enter before leaving that worksheet, because your formula will be messed up. And so we're going to give you more examples when we meet in the lab sessions. So make sure that you look at this and you're ready and you know how to do this. So any problems, just let us know. Thank you.